Hey everybody, good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, depending on whatever time of day it is. When you are viewing this, thank you for joining me, Adrena Monet, for another episode on my channel. I hope all is well with everybody. I know quite a few of us are, we're dealing with and processing, trying to process the unfortunate passing away and death of Kobe Bryant on Sunday, January 26th, 2020. And man, I did not even realize that I had left for Kobe the way that I did. And, with our regular everyday lives, we are into our routine and that type of thing as well. And, of course, it was super unforeseen. He was only 41. He left behind, his beautiful girls and his wife as well and all of that. So it's just like, it's a very sobering time. Beyond those that are in the NBA or have been in the NBA, it's a very sobering time of like reflection on life and that type of thing. And I just want to talk about how life is really fragile, or life is really fragile. And to not only make it count, like you've got to make your life count, but you've also got to make sure to like not take even the most simple blessings in life and simple things for granted, because you just never know when your life can change in an instant, whether unfortunately through like an early passing of death, or a serious injury that can also alter the course of your life, or what have you. So that's what I want to talk about today. Is just reflecting. For me, I'm not like a sports fanatic at all, but I do like studying up on people while they're alive, and in other instances, it ends up unfortunately being once they've passed. And I know I cried for several hours on Sunday. I was like, I did not think it was gonna hit me this hard. Like I really, and for me, like I'm a feeler. Like I feel stuff. Please don't put a label on my feelings, but I just really, yeah, my spirit just feels stuff. So whether it's a tragedy that happens or observations I make, in my surroundings around me, or just in general. So yeah, I just, yeah, my spirit feels stuff. So yeah, I take stuff like a little bit differently. And so yeah. And so I cried legit for several hours, to the point of even getting a headache. And I was like, oh yeah, girl, you got to stop crying, because now you've got a headache that you have to get rid of. Um, and yeah, it just really hit me in a way that I just never thought I just didn't know it would. So I've just been studying up on his life. I'm excited to also end the conversation with a few of my favorite quotes by Kobe. And yeah, it's just been very sobering. I know something I've seen floating around on the internet, giving the helicopter crash that he and the 8 others died in. There's been this quote of, let me make sure I get the quote right. The quote is, leaving your home and getting back safely is such an underrated blessing. I'm like, listen, that's underrated to y'all, okay? 2 days ago, for instance, I was probably working or coming home from work. I was coming home from work and almost got rear-ended. And the way it happened, I'm still happy I didn't get rear-ended on Monday night, because people can't drive, and people drive aggressively and very arrogantly. So I'm like, listen, I deal with that. I deal with getting rear-ended at least a few times a week. So I know coming home is not only underrated, but like, for sure a blessing. So trust me, I really, especially don't take that for granted. Then you got to add in, cop nonsense and all that. Listen, I don't know where y'all be at, but I deal with horrible drivers, let alone being up in the air and that type of thing, and the sort of things that can happen, unfortunately, while you're up in a plane or what have you. So nevertheless, so that quote's been floating around of, leaving your home and coming back safely is underrated. I was like, underrated to y'all, okay? Underrated to y'all. Underrated to y'all. But so I've just been thinking about, how I'm making my life count, how I've always lived with that kind of intention. I've let people with agendas and shady motives, and people that were not as genuine as they portray themselves to be. I've allowed them to, unfortunately, get close to me and that kind of thing. But even amidst all of that, like I've lived with very much quite a bit of intention of, making a difference in people's lives as often as I can. I'm very observant anyways, so I just kind of observe without effort. So I'm very observant anyways. And yeah, I just have always been like intentional about living a very purpose driven life and that type of thing. So, even beyond this unforeseen tragedy that the Bryant family is dealing with and their friends and all of that, I've always lived with that kind of intention about, who I call friend, because I don't call many people friend. And again, when you've been burned a lot and that type of thing, you don't use that word very loosely. Um, and this is how I spend my time, each of my days, and that type of thing. It actually took me a while to get this message out because I was like, do I want to get the message out? Is it going to be necessary? I want to be making sure I add value to you guys' life with this kind of message. So I don't want to just get on to just talk. That's not me in general. And so I was like, okay, let me get the message out, and then I kind of go back to, whatever other content I also need to release and that type of thing. But yeah, you've got to definitely make your life count. Then, like yesterday marked 6 years since my grandmother, my Nana, my maternal grandmother passed. So yesterday marked 6 years since that happened. And so, you know, it's just, quite a week for me as it is. It's been quite a week. But yeah, you definitely you've got to make your life count, whatever that looks like, for you as a person. I know what it looks like for me, and only you know what it looks like and what it needs to look like for you. And so, yeah, that's pretty much the gist of my message. I didn't really take notes like I kind of wanted to. Um, but yeah, you've got to make your life count. Um, and just create memories along the way, make a difference if you're into that kind of thing, obviously make a difference in the lives of other people as well, in the lives of communities, and otherwise in the lives of maybe your clients, your customers, strangers as well. Like you never know what kind of impact you can have on a total stranger's life. So that's pretty much that. And again, a lot of us are strangers to Kobe, fans and all of that. To whatever degree, you don't have to be a sports fan. You can just be a fan of him as a person, because even beyond the NBA, he was amazing in that type of thing. And so, yeah, it's just been sobering, and I'm trying not to even start crying all over again. But yeah, so I guess it'd be kind of cool in the comments to hear from you guys how the tragedy and the news of the tragedy has affected you and impacted you. Yeah, I would love to know in the comments below. And besides all of that, there might be a continuation of this, but I have to get at least this much out. I guess I'll go ahead and get into a few of my favorite quotes by him and maybe why they stand out to me. So, for instance, one of Kobe's um, well known statements is that everything negative, pressure, challenges, is all an opportunity for me to rise. And even with that, I feel like, I'm living that right now, Um, I got some disappointing news, kind of disappointing, not really surprising, the other day. And it's kind of caused me to have to, like, be on the grind even more and that type of thing. But even with that setback, it's all an opportunity for me to rise. And, amidst, of course, the whole transition that I'm making of my life from the States to Africa. And so even in that, I'm still gonna find myself winning in life. It's just, it's a setback I didn't foresee having and that type of thing. Although I guess I should have foreseen it given the times that we're living in America, but whatever. So yeah, like I said, Kobe has said everything negative, pressure, challenges is all an opportunity for me to rise. And that's true for any of us. Something else that stands out to me that Kobe once said is, I'll do whatever it takes to win games, whether it's sitting on a bench, waving a towel, um, handing a cup of water to a teammate, or hitting the game winning shot. Each of those dynamics of serving as a teammate and working, alongside the team as a teammate, all that makes a difference. And that's so true. Like, I just love that. I just love that. I just love that about. I just love that about Kobe. Something else that he said also was, "I don't want to be the next Michael Jordan. I only want to be Kobe Bryant," and that's so true. Um, Even like in the space of YouTube, I can't be the next person of whoever has whatever kind of content they have. I can only be me. Um, and that's just what it is. I can only be Adrena Monet, just like you can only be you, and you should stand out as you. And man, you should be known for all of your awesomeness, for being truly who you are, and not known for trying to be what the next person is or does, or both. And yeah, so I just, like I said, those are a few quotes that stand out to me. I guess because I resonate with them personally, because they also are descriptive of my personal character and my professional character as well. So I came across those online, and they stood out to me. So I'll be carrying those with me as well. And besides all of that, y'all, yeah, life is so fragile. You just really never know. It can truly change like in an instant. And the whole thing is that instant, you don't foresee it. It just happens. And so life is fragile. You've got to make your life count. Despite setbacks, despite disappointments, despite circumstances, despite upbringing, all that kind of stuff, you've just got to make your life count. And definitely don't take it for granted. Like running water. Listen, I'm telling y'all think I'm exaggerating or being whatever, but I'm so serious. Like from running water to just the simplest things, like the simple things mean a whole lot to me just day to day, just because I kind of live with that kind of awareness. And so besides all of that, let me know in the comments below what resonated with you from this conversation with me. And also, I'll probably end up putting the wording of Kobe's quotes that I shared. I'll put those in my description box as well. And let me know, how Kobe's life maybe has affected you. If it has affected you, if it hasn't affected you, you ain't got to comment, definitely nothing negative. Also, let me wrap this up. Check my description box for my link bio info. I've got some cool resources and content and whatever else down there. I had a troll on my last video, or on my recent video about my microfiber towels. I had a troll in my comments talking about how something sexual, okay? He made a sexual comment, okay? Disgusting, unnecessary, and I don't do trolls. I don't care what level of troll you are. So if you're a troll, make sure you stay off my channel. The next thing is, I also had somebody leave a comment on my video of why I'm moving to Africa. I removed that comment so quick. So basically, if you don't share the kind of sentiments, or you're not interested in my content for one reason or another, period, you ain't got to be on my channel. So that's just a little fun fact there about me, Adrena Monet. I don't do trolls, and if you don't like my content to begin with, don't come here. I'm not going to ask why you're here, but I will deal with you accordingly. So, couple announcements to wrap things up. You guys got the quotes. I'll put the wording down in my description box below, and check down there for anything additional that can also bless your life. And I'll talk to you guys later. My name is Adrena Monet, and I am signing off.